Have you ever wondered why some people can't stop thinking about you, even when you're not around? What if I told you that you could be the person who lingers in someone's mind without playing games or overthinking every interaction? Imagine this for a moment. You've had a simple conversation, exchanged a few glances, and suddenly they're thinking about you at random moments throughout the day. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you that there's a psychological trick, a subtle shift, that can make this a reality? In today's video, I'm going to reveal the one psychological secret that can make someone think about you non-stop. It's all based on a powerful psychological concept, backed by research, that not only explains why this happens, but also shows you how to use it in your own life. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to create a magnetic presence that leaves an indelible mark in someone's mind. No tricks, no games, just science. Before we dive into this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join us at NeuroVista, where we explore the fascinating world of psychology and human behavior. You won't want to miss out on the powerful insights we'll share in the future. Now, let's get into it. The unfinished business. Why people can't stop thinking about you. The first thing you need to understand is the psychological power of the unfinished. Our brains are wired to focus on what feels incomplete. Ever had a conversation that ended too abruptly? Or a story someone told you that left you with more questions than answers? Well, that feeling of not knowing everything is exactly what keeps people thinking about you. When we don't have all the information, our minds are driven by an insatiable need to fill in the blanks. It's like when a book or movie doesn't give us a clear resolution. We keep thinking about the story, trying to figure out what happens next, even long after the credits roll. This psychological effect is especially powerful when it comes to personal connections. Imagine a conversation where you share just enough about yourself to pique someone's curiosity, but leave threads untied. Maybe you hint at an interesting experience, but don't share all the details. Or you mention a fascinating part of your life, but tease that you'll tell them more next time. This triggers something deep in their brain, a sense of anticipation, and it makes them want to know more. Here's an example. Let's say you meet someone named Alex at a mutual friend's party. You chat for a while, laugh together, and really hit it off. But then, just as Alex is getting into a story about a recent trip, you smile and say, "It's a long story. I'll tell you about it next time." Now, Alex can't stop thinking about you. His brain is racing. Where did you go? What happened there? His curiosity spikes, and he begins mentally piecing together the story, wondering what's going to happen next. You haven't done anything tricky. You've simply triggered his natural curiosity. This is the psychology of mystery, and it's one of the most powerful tools you have when it comes to making someone think about you long after the conversation is over. The reason why mystery works so well is rooted in dopamine, the brain's feel-good neurotransmitter. Dopamine is responsible for pleasure and reward, but it's also deeply involved in curiosity. When we encounter something mysterious, something we don't fully understand, our brain releases dopamine. This creates a sense of excitement and anticipation, which makes us want to go back and keep investigating until we get to the reward, the answer. The more uncertain or unpredictable something is, the more our brains are hooked. Think about it like this. Imagine you're playing a game of chance, where sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. The unpredictability of winning keeps you coming back for more. This principle is called intermittent reinforcement, and it's exactly why mystery is such an effective way to keep someone thinking about you. So when you leave just enough mystery in a conversation, you're essentially hooking their brain with a promise of more. Their mind starts to work overtime, trying to fill in the gaps, and that's when you start to linger in their thoughts. It's a mental puzzle that gets more captivating the more pieces they have, and it's not something that easily fades away. But mystery alone isn't enough. To make someone really think about you, there needs to be a deeper emotional connection. This is where emotional resonance comes into play. When you share an emotional experience with someone, whether it's a deep conversation or a moment of vulnerability, you create something lasting. It's not just about what you say, it's about the emotions you evoke during your interactions. Think about the last time someone truly made you feel heard, understood, or appreciated. That feeling of connection sticks with you, doesn't it? It's the kind of memory that you replay in your mind when you think about that person. It's that sense of warmth or safety that makes you want to be around them more. Emotional resonance is powerful because it ties a person to positive feelings. For instance, if someone shares a personal story with you and you respond with empathy, they begin to associate you with those positive emotions. Your presence starts to feel comforting, like a safe space where they can relax and be themselves. This connection doesn't just fade after the conversation ends. It lingers in their mind because the emotional bond has been strengthened. It becomes something they want to relive, which keeps them coming back to thoughts of you again and again. Now there's another psychological trick that makes someone crave your attention. Scarcity. When something is limited or hard to get, it becomes more valuable. This is true in almost every aspect of life, from rare collectibles to exclusive events. The same principle applies to relationships. When someone isn't always available, it creates a sense of longing and anticipation. You've probably experienced this yourself. When you don't hear from someone for a while, your mind starts to wonder, why haven't they reached out? What are they doing? The more limited someone's attention is, the more we crave it. This is a natural psychological response. But here's the kicker. It's not just about being unavailable. It's about making the interactions you do have meaningful. When time together is coupled with positive emotions, whether it's through a heartwarming conversation, a fun activity, or a shared moment of joy, your brain registers that experience as rewarding. It releases dopamine, reinforcing the desire to repeat the experience. This is positive reinforcement in action. When you associate a person with good feelings, the brain wants to revisit those moments. The more positive experiences they associate with you, the more likely they are to think about you when you're not around. The combination of scarcity and positive reinforcement creates a psychological loop that strengthens attraction. When you're not around all the time, but your presence is rewarding, people start to crave those interactions even more. And that longing, it keeps them thinking about you. Mirroring and similarity, the subtle art of building rapport. Next, let's talk about mirroring and similarity, two psychological forces that can make someone feel more connected to you. Mirroring is a technique where you subtly mimic the other person's actions, words, or body language. You might mirror their posture, tone, or even the rhythm of their speech. This simple act creates an unconscious bond because it signals to the brain that you're similar to them. But it's not just about copying someone's behavior. It's about shared experiences and values. When you connect with someone over common interests, beliefs, or life experiences, it deepens the bond. People are naturally drawn to others who share similar values or passions because it reinforces their own identity and provides a sense of belonging. For example, if you both love hiking and you talk about a recent adventure, that shared enthusiasm creates an emotional connection. The brain starts to associate you with positive experiences, and they start thinking about you more often, wanting to revisit those shared moments. Finally, let's talk about the power of shared experiences. There's a saying that goes, shared experiences are the glue that binds us. It's true. When you do something unique or novel together, it creates lasting memories that stick in the mind. Psychologically, new experiences create a stronger emotional response because they're not predictable. Let's say you both go on an impromptu adventure, or you share a deep, heartfelt conversation late at night. These kinds of experiences create a mental bookmark. The brain encodes them as special moments, and each time that memory resurfaces, they think about you. And last but not least, let's talk about independence. The more self-sufficient and independent you are, the more intriguing you become. People are naturally drawn to those who have their own passions, interests, and lives. It signals strength, confidence, and emotional maturity. When someone sees that you're not constantly seeking their attention or validation, they become more curious about you. They want to know what you're doing, what you're passionate about. This intrigue makes them think about you more often. Wrapping up, how to use this to your advantage. Now that you understand the psychology behind why someone might think about you non-stop, let's put it all together. Here's what you can do. Number 1, be intriguing. Share enough to pique their curiosity, but leave some things unsaid. Number 2, create emotional connections. Share meaningful experiences and feelings that resonate with them. Number 3, use scarcity wisely. Be present, but not overbearing. Make the time you spend together count. Number 4, mirror their interests and values. Build rapport by finding common ground and connecting emotionally. Number 5, create shared experiences. Make memories that they'll want to revisit even when you're not around. By weaving these elements into your interactions, you can create a presence that lingers in someone's thoughts long after you've parted ways. Being unforgettable doesn't require flashy gestures or playing games. It's about understanding the psychology of human attraction and connection. By embracing mystery, emotional resonance, scarcity, and positive reinforcement, you'll make a lasting impression that will keep them thinking about you again and again. If you want to dive deeper into the psychology of relationships and attraction, don't forget to subscribe to NeuroVista. We'll keep bringing you powerful insights that will help you understand the complexities of love, human behavior, and personal empowerment.